Attention passionate New York Giants fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on New York Giants' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true New York Giants fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and New York Giants fans. Let's get to the news, all right. Folks, buckle up because what I'm about to tell you could be one of the most seismic shifts in the NFC East in recent memory. Rumors are swirling that the San Francisco 49ers are considering a blockbuster trade involving Trent Williams, and if this pans out, it could reshape the division's landscape for years to come. Now I know what you're thinking. Wait, Trent Williams? The guy's been the anchor of that offensive line for over a decade, a perennial Pro Bowler, arguably one of the best offensive tackles in the league. The idea of him leaving the 49ers is almost unfathomable, but sources close to Adam Schefter are whispering that the 49ers are eyeing a major move that could change everything for the Giants and the NFC East at large. Let's unpack this because it's a layered story with a lot of moving parts. According to those whispers, the 49ers, who sit at an 8-7 record with just about $8 million in cap space, are exploring the possibility of trading Trent Williams in exchange for a first-round pick in 2026 and a reserve offensive lineman from the Giants. The goal: cap relief, specifically, freeing up around $15 million to extend Brock Purdy's contract after what has been a somewhat inconsistent run game, and dealing with injuries in their secondary, which has lost 4 key defensive backs recently. This kind of move echoes the 2025 Jason Peters trade that helped the Eagles boost their pass protection and increase their overall pocket time by more than 15%. The Giants, currently sitting at 4-11 and in full rebuild mode, could find themselves on the receiving end of a major shakeup, especially with their offensive line struggling, particularly after Andrew Thomas' hamstring injury, which has made Week 17's game uncertain for him. Now imagine Trent Williams lining up in a Giants uniform. That's not just a fantasy, it's a game changer. The Giants' offensive line, which has been a work in progress all season, would instantly get a shot in the arm with a player of Williams' caliber. He's a mountain of a man, a true titan on the field, and a player who can dominate the line of scrimmage with ease. His PFF grade in 2025 is a staggering 90. 0 overall, ranking him third among all offensive tackles. His pass block efficiency sits at 79. 9, ranking 7th, and his run block grade is an eye-popping 92. 0, second best in the league. To put that into perspective, Williams hasn't allowed a sack in 2025, and he's only been pressured 15 times all season, with nearly 1-0 snaps played. His career is nothing short of legendary. 12 Pro Bowls, a career sack count of 20, and multiple seasons with PFF grades above 90, comparable to the elite Joe Thomas in terms of consistency and dominance. If this move happens, the impact on the Giants could be massive. Not only would it bolster the offensive line, but it would also send a clear message that the Giants are serious about contending. With Williams anchoring the right side of the line, the Giants could see a boost of over 20% in pocket time, pushing the average from around 2.3 seconds to nearly 2.8 seconds. That's huge because more time in the pocket means more opportunities for Daniel Jones to connect with his receivers and less pressure on the offensive backfield. It would also reduce sacks dramatically, potentially dropping from around 50 sacks allowed per year down to just about 30, which would be a significant improvement. Moreover, the run game would benefit immensely. Currently averaging around 90 rushing yards per game with Williams in the lineup, that number could easily jump to 120 yards per game, turning the Giants' rushing attack into a more formidable force. That's not just about the numbers, folks. It's about creating more explosive plays, setting up play-action passes, and giving Saquon Barkley the lanes he needs to bust those big runs. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. The 49ers, after losing some defensive pieces and facing vulnerabilities on that side of the ball, are looking to strengthen their roster and rebuild with youth. Their odds of winning the Super Bowl have dipped to plus 800, mainly because of defensive struggles. They're allowing about 24 points per game, which isn't quite what you'd expect from a team with Super Bowl aspirations. They're motivated to make a move that will not only help them now, but set them up for sustained success. Trading Trent Williams for draft picks and a backup lineman makes sense from a cap perspective, especially since they're prioritizing a rebuild of their offensive line and secondary, with plans to draft some promising wide receivers and other young talent. Meanwhile, the Giants, with a salary cap hit of only about $2.3 million, could absorb Williams' salary easily while alleviating some of their cap pressure. This would give them more flexibility to focus on building through the draft and adding young talent. For the Giants, this isn't just about plugging a hole, it's about setting the tone for the future. They're in a phase of transition, trying to develop their young quarterback Daniel Jones and build a more sustainable, competitive roster. Adding a veteran like Trent Williams would provide leadership and stability, especially up front, which is crucial for a team looking to grow its offensive identity. His presence alone would elevate the entire unit, making the offensive line a true strength rather than a liability. From a strategic standpoint, the Giants would see immediate benefits. His ability to dominate the line of scrimmage could translate into a more effective rushing attack, which is vital for a team rebuilding around a young quarterback. It would also reduce the stress on the offensive line, allowing them to focus on run blocking and pass protection without constantly worrying about edge rushers threatening Daniel Jones. The improved line play could elevate the Giants' offensive ranking from a middling 28th in yards per game to a more respectable mid-tier position, giving the offense a much-needed boost and helping them sustain drives longer. That, in turn, would improve their overall offensive EPA, expected points added, which is a key indicator of offensive efficiency. And let's not forget the defensive side of things. With the offensive line stabilized, the Giants could focus more on their secondary and pass rush, knowing they've got a reliable anchor protecting Daniel Jones. This move could also have ripple effects on their defensive strategy, allowing them to focus on long, sustained drives rather than quick strikes against an overwhelmed offensive line. It's a holistic upgrade that could transform the team's entire approach on both sides of the ball. Now, looking ahead to the postseason picture, if the Giants manage to pull off this trade, the odds of them making a deep playoff run would skyrocket. In fact, the Super Bowl odds for the Giants could jump from +50-0 to around +10-0, turning them into a real dark horse contender. That's because a top-tier offensive line is the backbone of any championship team. It provides the protection needed for the passing game to flourish and opens up lanes for the run game to control the clock and wear down opponents. In simulations based on data, this kind of upgrade could increase the Giants' win probability by around 15%, similar to the impact Washington had last year after bolstering their offensive line and making a late-season push into the playoffs. This potential trade isn't just about winning a few games. It's about re-establishing the Giants as a team that can contend year after year. Trent Williams, as a cornerstone of that strategy, would be a long-term solution, a veteran presence who can help develop the young guys on the line and provide the leadership needed to push the team into serious playoff contention. His addition would send a message to the rest of the league that the Giants are serious about competing and rebuilding the right way. It's a bold move, but in the NFL, sometimes you have to make bold decisions to set yourself apart. And if they pull this off, it could be the start of a new chapter of dominance in the NFC East. So fans, keep an eye on this story because it's developing quickly. The Giants are in an interesting position right now, balancing rebuilding efforts with the desire to return to the playoffs and beyond. A trade for Trent Williams would certainly accelerate that process and give this franchise a new level of confidence moving forward. Whether it happens or not, one thing is for sure. The NFC East is about to get a lot more interesting, and the Giants are right in the thick of it. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest New York Giants news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, New York Giants fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster? Do you think Trent Williams could be the missing piece for a deep playoff run? Or is this too much of a gamble? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Giants. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest news on your New York Giants.